Special meeting to order. Roll call, please, Ms. Settle.
Mayor Plummer,
Here.
Commissioner Brooks,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts,
Here.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Here.
Commissioner Gibson.
Here.
We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Okay, we'll move on to 3 old business. 3A, approval of an architecture and civil engineering firm for the planning and design services for the Waste and Recycling Convenience Center transfer station. Mr. Smith.
The committee met Tuesday and we evaluated all 3 proposals. After everybody discussed it, we all agreed that if Ken Barnes could meet the deadlines that are set forth now, that's our recommendation. I've talked to them all day Wednesday. We discussed it with Mr. Casher and they agreed that they can meet the deadlines. So the committee wants to recommend Ken Barnes as the architectural and design firm for the transfer station.
Anyone have any questions? Okay, we need to take a vote then. Need a motion.
Motion to approve the recommendation of the committee to accept Ken Barnes as the architect and civil engineering firm for the planning and design services for the Waste and Recycling Convenience Center.
Second, okay, take a vote.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks, Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we'll move on to 4. I'm going to put 4C first. So this is Mike Smith's birthday today, so we don't want him in here too long. So on the 4C, approval to set public hearing for use of municipal road aid funds on May 10th, 2022 at 9 a.m. Brad,
Yeah, so we do have a list of streets and things that we're looking to get paved, and
I'll get that over to you first thing Monday.
okay, that works. And then we had, this week we had received the agreement, or at least the grant from the transportation cabinet, so that'll be in the package
okay,
for Tuesday. I think it was 179,000 might have been funding.
right.
For this period.
169, 189. It's
Yeah.
one of the 89 or 9 that needs to.
It's
got
about
a
what it's
9.
been. It's about what it's been for the last year, so.
Yeah, it's got a
that
number in it
number.
somewhere, so.
Yeah.
But that'll be on the agenda, and we'll have a public comment there Tuesday. So,
Okay, so we need a motion.
yeah.
Somewhere.
Motion? I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Galbraith,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gibson,
Yes.
Mayor Plummer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on now to 4A.
Thanks, Mike.
Y'all have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
happy birthday,
Mike.
Yeah.
See y'all.
First reading of an ordinance amending the zoning map for property owned by William Harrington Jr. and Teresa Harrington located at 2005 and 2007 South Main Street. Bowman's not here. Pat is though.
Good
Pat, how you
morning,
doing,
Mr.
sir?
Mayor, Commissioners.
Hey, Patrick.
We had the planning commission meeting last month. I guess I'd say, I don't think there was anybody there that spoke in direct opposition to anything. Excuse me for that this morning. I was at the Rotary Club event last night and, blame Stan, I'm struggling a little bit.
Don't let out any secrets.
I've drafted an ordinance for you all on the zone change. In this situation, Mr. Harrington and Mr. Council Jim Lovell are both here. They can answer any questions specifically if you have them, but it is a zone change to R5. This is what Andrew would call one of those infill developments that city is always looking for opportunities on. Mr. Harrington is proposing doing a consolidation of 2 lots. One of them is split zoned along Main Street. It's partially B, partially residential business, and he is asking for it to be rezoned to R5 so that he could do a multi-unit development, is what he's planning, an apartment building. Very well developed record at the planning commission level. As I mentioned, there was no direct opposition. There were some questions, but those will be addressed when he comes back. He will bring a development plan back to the planning commission to get approval on before he starts any construction. The proposal was on the future land use map as being rezoned to residential as well. So this is in alignment with your all's comprehensive plan and goals and objectives for the city as well on infill and different levels of residential development, I think was already mentioned. So if you don't have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. they're also here if you,
Yeah, I just, is the entrance gonna be from 20th Street or both? 20th?
sir, I can't speak to that, but I'm sure that they would be happy to fill you in on that.
I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
The entrance to the complex is gonna be on 20th Street or
It's gonna
Main
be,
Street or both?
It's gonna be facing Main Street. 20th Street's gonna be the access in and out, two-way access off of 20th Street. The building itself will be facing Main Street. And if you notice on 2007 it's a pretty long property, that the parking for this structure is gonna be in that back area.
Okay. Okay.
We've achieved enough parking spaces for what we're trying to develop there, so we got substantial room for that.
Okay.
So one house was already demolished, right? on
Yes,
that
ma'am.
property? And then is there another one beside it?
There was a property right next, adjacent to the radio station. I understand it was before I acquired it, a vehicle went through that property and they tore it down. And I acquired that lot. And then I acquired the house next door, the 2007 property, had a house on it that was in pretty bad shape. It was abandoned, but people were living in it, no utilities and that kind of thing for like 3 years. So we, when I acquired that, we did demo the house immediately. So we've already started a development plan. We've got with engineering, and I have an engineer to develop a plan for the water runoff, and we've got all that approved by the local city engineer as well, and we're pretty much ready to go. But I need to get the zoning changed for R5 multifamily.
So the in and out is sort of where that arrow is, right on 20th Street?
Right behind the radio station.
Yeah.
There's an existing driveway goes out on Main Street. Initially, I was wanting that to be exit and right turn only, and the city was well with that, but the state was not. So the state kind of took that out. And
Make you change your plans.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they don't want any access that close to the intersection. So
So the in and out is on 20th Street?
that's correct. Right behind the radio station.
Right. And how many units did you say?
I'm sorry?
How many units did you say?
18 units. It's a 3-story building. From Main Street, you'll see 2 stories, 2 levels. And there'll be a basement level that comes out on the parking lot in the rear. And we got 36 parking spaces. It'll be a breezeway type building. We're trying to really keep with the retro look for Paris. It's going to be a flat front wall, you know, have some little bit of dormer look to it. I took some pictures of downtown and.
Look good with the existing properties?
Yes, our architect's working on that, so.
That'll be reflected in your development plan.
I'm sorry?
It'll be reflected in your development plan.
It will be,
Yeah,
yes.
The details, okay.
Yeah, I would just reemphasize what Patrick said, this is just for the zone.
Yes, just for the
Yes.
zone change, it's set, right, right.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody's kind of hitting on the same page with that.
Yeah, I'm a builder, I'm ready to go, so I'm getting ahead of myself a little maybe.
Had it rein you in?
Yes, that's right.
Stop.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's first reading, so.
Yeah. When approved, how long will it take to build the building, I guess?
I didn't hear that.
How long will it take if, once it's approved, to start building and completion? From building to completion, you think?
August, September, I mean. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know really what to say to that. You're asking if I want to get it approved to.
No. He was just asking you about.
I think, well, I don't know if you're familiar with River of Life Ministries. I did that build in 13 months. It's 20,000 square feet. This building's a little different. It's a little repetitive, so the first floor and the top floor, they're all the same.
Right, okay.
And so I anticipate it being right at a year,
Okay.
start to finish.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And they did like say, saying that it is a first reading, so we'll move on to 4B, first reading of the ordinance amending
Thank you all.
the zoning
Thank you.
map for property owned by William Perry Letton, located at 1021 Bypass Road. Pat?
Okay, sir, thank you again. This is what I guess people refer to as the Letton Farm still. It was the property that remained after the Walmart development. That's been before my time. I don't mean to date anybody else that does remember, and I apologize for that, but that was finally pushed through right before I actually got to Paris and started practicing. I've heard some stories about it. I know that it was quite a process to get that whole development done. For this part, about 50 acres, I don't have the exact number right in front of me, had remained, and there's a developer out of Carlisle. His name is Mike Johnson. He put the property under contract and has requested a zone change, and it's actually being split into 3 different zones is what he's requested. Now, Clark helped me do a little bit of research on this property. When it was annexed into the city at the same time as the rest of the property, prior to the Walmart development, it remained as county ag, county A1 is what it was. That zoning stays, so that's the zoning that's been on the property since it came in. But the map did show future land use as residential. What Mr. Johnson has asked for a small part of that, you can see on the very bottom, he's asked for 5.6 acres to be rezoned to general business B2, kind of as a transition area into the neighborhood that he's proposing. And there he's got it split into R5 and R8. R5 would include things like townhouses, which Arlington backs up to. R8 would be along the lines of the development out at Bourbon Oaks that's going on right now. I think that's what it's still called. The developer's position, and we've heard this a lot in the planning office, I'll be honest, is that our lower R classifications just put lots that are too big to design affordable housing. And actually, Mr. Johnson laughed because he was specifically asked to define affordable housing at the planning commission meeting. And he said, well, I can tell you what I thought it was 6 months ago, but unfortunately, that's not quite the same. So he is very optimistic that by having just those little bit smaller lot size, like I said, that we've got over there in the Bourbon Oaks right now, it'll make it a little bit more cost effective for him to do the development. I don't think he has any ideas for the business portion of it yet. His construction, he would stretch his infrastructure from Letton Drive into the development. So he would basically have to build the road past that business section on the hope that there would be some interest in it at some point. And then I think he would start with the residential development. I guess since we all know each other here, I think he's got a lot of work to do still to put together a development plan that is going to work. I'll be honest with that, and I was honest with him about that. And I think he understands that. So there's some drainage questions there in that area. People have had problems with the Walmart development, different accusations about what's causing excess runoff and stuff like that. He's going to have his work cut out for him to come up with a development plan that is going to work, but I think he is very much aware of that. And just like with Mr. Harrington's project, he will come back to the planning commission. He'll have a subdivision plan, and hopefully it'll be on a recommendation, or it'll be to do a preliminary plan, kind of like is going on in Bourbon Oaks right now, where they can put a design forward for the infrastructure, start moving dirt, do some of the big items there, and then we come back to the planning commission for actually the subdivision plat. So when everything's done, he'll be able to then start selling lots. So that's what we got there. Marty Goins represented him at the planning commission. There were some questions from the surrounding property owners. Same thing, just wondering exactly what the plans were and how they were going to address certain areas. And they were encouraged to make sure to pay attention and follow up when it does come back to the planning commission on the development plan, because all those will be addressed. But I'm trying to remember here. Like I said, it was the future land use showed it as residential, future residential development. And he had added in that small sliver of B, and I know that Andrea's report spelled out the justification for it, but there was in alignment with the comprehensive plan goals and objectives for, I think it had to do with just having general integral business access, I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's probably in her report there, but, there was a finding on that, and, also a finding that is in alignment with the future land use map for the residential portion, so. I know he was the one that's the most eager to have this second reading done because he had a deadline on his purchase agreement to actually purchase the property. So I think it was his original motivation to have this special meeting, but, I guess, hopefully, I'll make sure that Andrea lets him know that we've presented this to you all today, and hopefully he'll be able to be here on Tuesday if you all have any questions. I'll try and make mention of that.
As a refresher, R8, what is that, 70, is that 70-foot lot on the
This is
frontage?
where I am prepared. I was afraid I'd be asked about this, and I don't know that off the top of my head. Also, I printed out one of Andrea's, she's asking for the minimum lot size?
Yeah, on an R8, there's a minimum lot width.
Let's see.
Same thing with R7.
Okay,
I
so,
didn't-
no, she didn't put this on the sheet, so I thought I was
It's
all
either
ready to go.
70 feet or,
For the minimum lot width, I think that, yes, is it a full quarter acre lot? I think that it is 70 foot.
I know it's got square footage, you know, an R8 and R7, all of them have different square footage, but then they also have minimum. I'm just curious as to,
R5 has the minimum of 80 feet. So
R8 doesn't, you would think maybe R8 would follow with 80 and R7 would be 70, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's a different number attached to each one of those. But anyway. just-
Getting there, I'm in R5.
I was
Okay,
gonna say, I printed it out, I can tell you what the, minimum
Sorry, it
lot
takes a
size
while.
is
I
for
just-
B1. I think that's where I screwed up. So I had
No,
one
it's all right.
page wrong. Oh, I was close to being wrong.
good. Again, I'm thinking when he gets his development plan and what have you, it's gonna be the density.
Ah, okay.
And I think that the one thing I also thought about too is, my impression, he's already talked to water and wastewater. He's included them in some of these discussions
Yes,
because of, again, the density level on roughly 50 acres or something.
I think you all had, or the city maybe in general, departments had expressed some general concern with
60 feet. 60 feet.
Okay.
On R8, 60 feet. And minimum lot size is 6,300 square feet, but the minimum with the building setback is 60. Thank you, sir. Okay.
And like I said, he's gonna have a little bit more work to do to put forward a development
Yes.
plan that's gonna be supported by the infrastructure that's there or propose changes to, so that will work.
Yeah, because in here he says he's gonna look to the wastewater, city's wastewater, and city water and things, so.
And I will also mention, his first conceptual development plan showed additional connections, like him having roads that connected, one connected to the end of Arlington there on the right of that bottom picture there, and then one that extended all the way to, oh gosh, I think that it went all the way to Hugh Medford Road. No,
That's fine. No, we're
but
fine.
he, that was very, very conceptual, and he's just gonna have to work through the various things. He wasn't committed to that in any way, and I think that'll be something that he'll work with the city on.
And then I had also heard that Bedford Acres was worried whether or not there was gonna be a connector road, like maybe Skyview or whatever, that, and that's not the case.
Yes, he
That's
had
not the
pulled
case.
that out, so.
Okay.
um,
But again, I guess that'll be in his development plan, so.
Yes, so I said there will be, if you all do approve the zone change, you will be back to the planning commission when you approve.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Patrick. This has been first reading.
Wonderful. I have nothing further, so you all have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
You
Hope your horse wins.
I do too.
Well, Patrick, I hope he comes in second, okay? Yeah. We're on opposite teams.
All right, move forward to retired employee request for sick time payout. Commissioner Robert?
Yes, where are we at on that? I know we had received an email and I didn't know what else was going on with it because we hadn't heard back on anything.
Okay, Aaron, can you?
I was preparing that for Tuesday.
Oh, you were, okay,
I
all right,
didn't, yeah,
that's fine.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was.
Okay, so everything's gonna be talked about on Tuesday. Are we gonna get information before Tuesday
Yeah,
to
I was
go
gonna
over?
email to you.
Okay.
Satisfied with that answer?
For now. We'll wait till Tuesday.
Okay. Moving on to 4E, City Affairs Amazon account. Commissioner Gibson.
Yes, I just wanted to know an update on that. We still haven't gotten all the details about, who's on the account, if that account has been changed to a business account, so.
Aaron, you wanna?
So, when the concerns were brought up, I think it was 1st of April, Mayor and I had talked about some of the duties that I had wanted to kind of reassign, and so we figured that was a good opportunity to break every tie. There are no more connections to my personal Amazon account. The credit cards are tax exempt. I'm no longer doing anything for the city. So, right now, Linda is doing all the purchasing for Amazon through the business account. Stephanie also has access. We're working on getting Shelley access, and we're gonna put out a proposal. We may wait for the new city manager. We wanna give all the department heads the opportunity to request their purchases through the business account. So we are
Have some sort of
only-
form also that, that
Well,
they
and we
need
can
to
set
turn
up
in.
limits, like we have a $500 purchase order limit, so we can set up limits for all purchases have to be approved by Brad or the city, like whoever, or we can say, okay, up to this point, so we can set our own parameters on that. So we're using the Amazon invoicing account, there's no more Visa, purchases going through Amazon from my office at all, I'm not doing anything Amazon. And I'm very happy. I
So
did
there's,
turn
so
over-
it's just a general business account and,
It is,
the
yeah,
city
we-
pays
we
the
have-
fee and,
We have a line of credit with Amazon.
Okay.
So they invoice us once a month based on that line of credit. And it's not going through the Visa, it's the same as the line of credit, but it's not going through the Visa.
Did that recently change? Because I signed off on the Visa statement yesterday and there was like 30 Amazon
Yeah,
charges
because
on the
that, we
Visa.
stopped that on April the 6th, so that was March's purchases. I think the last purchase that I made on Amazon was April 6th. And I think Shelley and police may still be using the Visa as well, and we're working on transitioning. that.
Transitioning.
And I did give Brad a copy of all the city and personal invoices.
and then moving forward, will the new city manager kind of monitor that? Because, there has been question before of kind of going around that $500 minimum by making several purchases instead of just,
So when I had requested of the mayor to grant me access to the Amazon account, my request was upon until the city manager arrived. Aaron gave me access to the account. However, I could not see what anyone is purchasing, only what I purchased myself.
okay.
So, and I don't know if that will change if the city manager takes over, but like if Linda's out, I can't look to see what she's purchased and she can't look to see what I've purchased. So it's only limited to what I purchased.
Well, that needs to be changed,
Right.
and we're buying things before the city manager gets here, so that totally needs to be changed, however. You should be able to see what's going through, so you're not even making double purchases, et cetera, if she's not here.
Well, and I think that's-
I can send a request into them, and it may just be a reporting function that I need to add. So I actually have a meeting with them at 11:30 on Monday, because they're gonna, the terms of like the line of credit, they're gonna send us our updated terms, it's just a pain, but I can ask them. It shouldn't be, it's just a reporting issue, we can fix that.
So at the end of the day, though, if you're not over anything, all the contact stuff should go to someone else.
Yeah.
So why are you meeting with them Monday?
just because I've been who they've worked with for the past 12 years.
So the other contact that is coming in needs to be in that meeting, so they know what's going on.
That's fine. I would never sign anything.
It's not about that. If you're totally off of it, the person that's going to be taking it over needs to be in that meeting, and they need to understand that that's the contact person.
Okay, that's fine.
Well,
I'm perfectly happy to not.
Well, the mayor should be,
Right.
Yeah.
and then he probably should be the one that sees what's being purchased. I mean, I think that, department heads, like, even though we've got that $500,
Cap.
Yeah.
he still, it still should be run through, or he should see what's going on, or Brad should see what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think it can be set up
Right,
that way.
and that's
to-
what-
To
Yeah.
run that through
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
So.
Any other information or questions? Okay, if not, we need a motion to adjourn until May 10th.
So moved.
Yep.
Second.
Second.
Have a vote.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
I might want